No. I have many vices.
I have many vices. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, hello, surprise. It's a surprise weekend video here. Dang, I'm not late. Chill the fuck out. Jesus. Wow. Alrighty. This is going to be a wild one. I am Legal Vices. Welcome to the channel. All of you here that are just waiting for me to show up, I am now here. I don't even know how to start this one. This is some fucked up stuff. And we're going to talk about some fucked up stuff tonight. So literally, trigger warning, there is some seriously fucked up shit about this case. Just so you know. I have no idea how to say it other than that. Yeah. Now, for those of you that panicked when you saw the whiskey review, it doesn't mean because the trial's over, I'm not doing any legal stuff or trial stuff. It's the weekend. I just kind of pump stuff up there. You know, that's my weekend is the time to explore the vices. So we did that, did a couple whiskey reviews, another one just uploaded right now. But we still got lots of legal stuff, and I did everything I needed to do today, so I thought I'd just pop in and say howdy to everybody and start this stream off. Wow, this is bad news. We all had the if we all remember the one trial that was up, what the hell was it? Chandler Halderson. He shot his parents, chopped them up, scattered them around the neighborhood. This case here is also in Wisconsin. I just need to know what the fuck is up with you people in Wisconsin? You got some sick people there. Dang. Yeah, I cannot emphasize how messed up this is. That's why the description, this is sex, murder, dismemberment, and then more sex. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Dang. Alrighty, before we get started, just want to say hello to everybody. Where are we all checking in, all 100 of us today? I'm obviously here in Korea. It is 10:04 p.m. on a Sunday night. And as I said, I just thought I would pop in and surprise. I had nothing else better to do, so I thought I'd pop on and just start this out because the Taylor Schabusiness, and isn't that a cool name, Schabusiness? What's your Schabusiness, man? So that's where we are with this. Taylor Schabusiness, she is a not so good person. We got some Toronto, Wales, Indiana, Arizona, rainy in Northwest Washington. It is raining in Korea as we speak too. Switzerland as always. Good. We got lots of Puerto Rico, Houston, NYC. Eli Cox says she gave him the Schabusiness. Oh yeah, she gave him the Schabusiness. Oh yeah, let's not forget that there was drugs involved in this case too, but we'll get to that in just a little bit. But now here we are. It's Sunday. What are y'all up to? How was your weekend? Anything especially exciting happening during this weekend? Here it was just it was a rainy weekend. It wasn't supposed to rain, but so I thought I would go out and I would do a video around Korea to a really, really historical place. So I drove there today. And halfway there, it started raining like a mofo. So I sort of had to kind of alter the plans I had for going through with this. What do you want to call it? Just the daily tourist part of Legal Vices doing Korea. So, you know, the problem was I couldn't go and see all the places I wanted to see. Because it was raining and it was muddy, but I did as much as I could. I took some good video of some very traditional Korean tea shops. And if you want to experience coffee, you have got to experience coffee in Korea. Nobody does coffee like Koreans do. Their coffee shops go all out. And I popped into a couple of coffee shops today, took some video and some pictures inside there. So we'll get around to uploading that maybe at the end of the week. But until then, we're just doing our thing here, and it's time to get back into some more legal stuff, which is, as I've said, the Taylor Schabusiness. I refuse to believe that's the actual real name, because that is an actual way too cool of a name to be real. If I tried to think of a name that was that cool, I couldn't. Schabusiness is a damn good name. Oh, Beaver's unit's in. Hey, Rose is in. Hey, welcome, mods. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. All right. What kind of hat is this? It demands attention. This is a Polish fisherman's hat from Strakowski in Poland. Yeah, this is I love my Polish fisherman's hat. There's so much white on my screen here that I'm getting the glare on my glasses. So I was kind of using the hat to cut the glare a little bit. It's all right. Just let me quickly catch up to make sure I don't miss any of these super chats. I think I've got one so far, but I want to make sure that I'm not missing any. I'm not missing any. That's great. All righty. Double check. All right. I'm awesome. I'm not. And again, if I miss any super chat, I'm so sorry. What kind of hat is that? It demands attention. I already answered that one. And here, Jasper, good to see you popped on over here from the other stream that I decided not to do. Thank you for the donation. Drinking beer and listening to Vices on a singular summer day in Scotland. Well, that reminds me, I need an adult beverage. Today, I guess we'll continue the Evan Williams where it was last time I had 20,000 subscribers. But now we've gone down to 19,978. I freak people out, I guess, with my whiskey review. But anywho, like and subscribe. If you like this type of thing, you're kind of sick and twisted, but maybe that's why I like you. I can't imagine a world in which this is going to be monetized. So it's just me sitting back here having fun on a Sunday night. Now, again, I have no idea there is no easy segue to get into the Taylor Schabusiness case. We've just got to jump into it cold. And again, have I watched a show called Voice? No. And again, if you are triggered by anything horrific, this is it. I'm your fair warning. Fucked up stuff coming down, starting now. Oh, I just made a little dot there. Okay. We're going to bring up the criminal complaint. What I want to do is bring up the criminal complaint that was filed against her by the state of Wisconsin. And then I have 3 hearing videos. The first hearing is one where she was out of it to the point that they asked for a psych evaluation. The second one is the psych evaluation report and the defense lawyer saying, we didn't like what that first psych evaluation said, so I want another one. And then the third one is a preliminary hearing that was held, I believe, last Wednesday. So that's where we're going to go. Eric Copa says, started out by saying, y'all ever seen the manufacturing of hot dogs? Well, this is worse. Yeah, it is. It's a wild one. Let's bring up the criminal complaint. Again, while I'm doing this, I'm going to be bringing this up so you have plenty of time to get down there and like the video and subscribe if you haven't already done so. And boom, here we go. Oh, God. This is about 4 different types of distasteful. Let me correct the cursor here. We do not need that. All right. I've highlighted some points, but they're just the highlights for focus. And I guess at the end of the day, having reviewed the highlights I made, it would have been easier to highlight the parts that I wasn't going to read. It's a 6-page document. We're going to be reading most of it. Skip over a few boring parts. Like and subscribe, or he at Legal Vice is going to kill you. No, I won't kill you. I'll just sick our lovely heroine Taylor Denise Schabusiness on your ass. My Beavers unit, trigger warning. Yeah, let's see what else did. Graphic information, sex, murder, drugs, more sex. You don't forget dismemberment. Yeah. The question is, did she take a bite like Canabro? If she didn't take a bite, that's the only fucking thing she didn't do. So yeah, I'm going full on. She took a snack at a dude. And again, with everything that she did do, I can't imagine her not doing that. All right, the state of Wisconsin is getting into the business here. All right. I just want to make one last check here and make sure I didn't skip any. Yep. All right, we're good. Taylor Denise Schabusiness. She was born in November 23rd, 1997. That makes her 21 years old. Nay Coronado. Oh, okay. Yep. Also known as Coronado. That I'm guessing that's I'm guessing that's her actually legit last name. I didn't notice that. Nice catch. Look at the lawyer not reading the documents. All right. The above named defendant. That's our lovely Taylor Denise Schabusiness. On or about Wednesday, February 23rd, 2022. What's wrong with my math? She's 25? She's 24. Yeah, she's 24 because it's not her birthday yet. Dude, seriously, don't mock me about my math. That's why we're lawyers. We pay our secretaries to do our math for us. Yeah. 24 years old. On or about Wednesday, February 23rd, 2022. So this is a very, very recent case. Did cause, and this is Green Bay, Wisconsin. Go Packers, I guess. Did cause the death of the victim. Our poor victim did cause the death of the victim with intent to kill that person. So he intended to kill them, and upon conviction shall be sentenced to imprisonment for life. Further invoking provisions of Wisconsin statutes, because the defendant is a repeater, having been convicted of battery or threat to a judge, prosecutor, or law enforcement officer, the maximum term of imprisonment for the underlying crime may be increased 6 years if the prior convictions for a felony. Okay, so if they're first going for first-degree murder and life imprisonment is what they're seeking. That's the first count. Count number 2, you can see it right here, mutilating a corpse. We're just getting started, I swear to God. The above named defendant did dismember a corpse with the intent to conceal a crime. And if you're intending to conceal a crime, this is not the best way to go about doing it. And again, for mutilating a corpse, I'm surprised the punishment is this low. Not more than $25,000 or imprisoned for not more than 12 years and 6 months or both. And again, because she's already a repeat offender, having battered or threatened a judge, prosecutor, or law enforcement, then it can be increased. The maximum term of imprisonment of the underlying crime may be increased. Now, here we go. Count number 3, trigger warning again. Third-degree sexual assault repeat offender. The above named defendant did have sexual intercourse with the victim without that person's consent, and upon conviction may be fined not more than $25,000 or imprisoned for not more than 10 years or both. And again, the maximum term can be extended because she has battered or threatened a judge, police officer, whatever the hell that information was. Now, those are the charges. Count 1, first-degree intentional homicide. Second, mutilating a corpse. And third-degree sexual assault. Yeah, and if any of you are waking up and have not had breakfast yet, I'm sorry. Those of you that have just had dinner or lunch, I'm sorry about that too. But I need a drink because this is some heavy shit we're getting into here. Yikes. Are we ready for the grounds for the claim? This is where the state of Wisconsin lays down the grounds for bringing these charges. And this is where it gets highly descriptive. So again, one more time, trigger warning. Probable cause. The complainant, which is the state of Wisconsin, being duly sworn on oath, so it's the prosecutor, he has had the opportunity to review the police reports from the officers of the Green Bay Police Department and other documents supporting this complaint. And the next part just says he believes there to be reputable, the witnesses to be reputable and the documents to be trustworthy. And also bases this complaint upon the statements of TP. TP is the victim's mother, who is presumed to be a reliable citizen witness. And your complainant also bases this complaint upon the statements of Taylor Schabusiness, which were against her penal interest. They said penal. So, Taylor made statements. Taylor violated the first rule of being a criminal. Shut the fuck up. Don't talk to the police under any circumstances, even if you're not suspected of doing something. Even if you think you might have anything to say to the police, do not talk to the police. Shut the fuck up. The police are not your friends, and no matter what they say, they're not helping you if they're asking you to come in for questioning or asking you to do things. All right. So, Taylor Schabusiness has made statements against her own interest. Not the smartest thing to do. And Lone Star, thank you very much for the donation, Lone Star Medic. When Rackets first covered the initial complaint, he said that this case makes the perfect argument for Drex's opinion of never getting pegged. Can't argue with that. Yep, that's sound advice, man. Hey, but fly your own freak flag, but take this as a warning. And if Drex has made the warning, it's a serious warning. All right, let's see what all the documents, witnesses, and the suspect herself had to say. Paragraph number 1. Your complainant's review of Officer Alex Waynish of the Green Bay Police Department, which indicates that on February 23rd, 2022, about 3:25 a.m., remember kids, be home by midnight and be alone because nothing good ever happens after midnight. Officer Waynish was dispatched to a residence that is located in the city of Green Bay, Brown County, Wisconsin, for a report of a severed head being found in a bucket in the basement. We are off to the races. There is a severed head found in a bucket in the basement. And upon arrival, Officer Waynish met with TP. Again, TP is the victim's mother, who allowed officers into the residence. Officer Waynish reports he went down to the basement. Once he reached the bottom of the stairs, Officer Waynish observed a plastic bucket on the floor. Officer Waynish observed a shower/beach towel over the bucket. Officer Waynish lifted the towel and observed a human head inside the bucket. Waynish looked around the room and observed what appeared to be dried blood on a nearby mattress. Again, if this kind of stuff freaks you out, all right, this might be freaking you out more. Stabby McStabwood said, love the content, but you should just burn that hat. It's not doing anything for you, man. Just makes you want to punch a German pinwheel in it for the kid Discord memes. Well, see, that's the thing. When we have so many people, some like the hat, some don't like the hat. This is the only hat I can wear with my headphones. So, hey, if y'all don't mind the shiny dome, then I certainly don't, because, yeah. There, is everybody happy now? See, Scotty says it's cool, but yeah, I need to get some good wired earbuds so I can hear myself while I talk. All righty, back to the case. So far we've got a head in a bucket and blood on a nearby mattress. Your complainant's review of the report of Officer Gareth Russell, another officer of the Green Bay Police Department, which indicates that on February 23rd, Officer Russell was asked to assist by going to a residence on Eastman Avenue Green Bay, Brown County, Wisconsin. Officer Russell gathered information that a person identified as Taylor D. Schabusiness, who was last seen with the victim, may be living at the Eastman Avenue address. So, wait. Ha! Hey, that's a pretty good translation. That was a trigger warning in Korean. Nice call there, Rose. Sweet. All right. Damn. And I've already lost 2 subscribers. That's funny. If you reject those 2 that ran away from me, that abandoned me, like and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Okay, so they go over to Schabusiness's house, and as officers inspected the van, Officer Russell saw Schabusiness emerge from the apartment building, and upon seeing officers, she stopped. Officer Russell could see that Schabusiness had what appeared to be dried blood on the front of her hood, of her black hooded sweatshirt, as well as her sweatpants. Officer Russell later found Schabusiness's hands appeared to be smeared with blood as well. And there was also what looked like dried blood on the back of her sweatsuit. But wait, there's more. Officer Russell asked Schabusiness if she knew why officers were there, and she stated something that sounded like, "Because of my warrant for my arrest." Dang, come on, Wisconsin. You can do better than this. Damn. So, what's next? We have the report of Detective Jenna Luberda of the Green Bay Police Department. Detective Luberda got some additional information that TP, the mother, told the officers that Schabusiness's van, which had been parked outside her address for a day or so, was gone. So they go over to the address where the van is. And it says here, on Eastman Avenue, where the van Schabusiness had been using was parked, and where Schabusiness had been taken into custody, and the van was later examined. Detective Luberda reports that in the rear passenger seat, behind the driver's seat, there was a crockpot box. Medical examiner Dr. Vincent Tranchita went to the box. What's in the box? What's in the fucking box? Which was on top of the laundry basket of clothes and located additional human body parts, including legs. Head in a bucket in mom's basement and legs in the back of a car with some other body parts. Well, again, keep yourself strapped in. This is just the beginning. I want to say like and subscribe, but that's kind of weird. Just do it. All righty. So next we have the report of Detective Phil Scanlon of the Green Bay Police Department. Detective Scanlon summarized evidence obtained during a search warrant. Okay, this is where we get seriously into detail. So Detective Scanlon reports that during a search, a human head severed from the neck was located in a bucket in the basement near the stairs. The head was identified visually in comparison with a prior photograph of the victim. So they've got the photo, head, photo, head, photo. Yep, that looks like him. The head was identified visually in comparison with a prior photograph of the victim, and it was confirmed to be the victim. According to Dr. Tranchita, there was visual evidence of strangulation observed. Also located in the same bucket was a male organ. Went the old Lorena Bobbitt route. And by the way, talking about being bald, this is optional. I shave my head. Okay. Not as close as victim had his head shaved, but I do shave my head. So other body parts were found in the basement in other bags. Oh, wait, I skipped a bit here. In the same bucket was a male organ, along with body fluid and 2 knives. 2 heads, 1 bucket. Nice one, Liz Gatehouse. Other body parts were found in the basement in other bags. including plastic shopping bags, along with 3 knives, including a bread knife consistent with kitchen knives, located in a storage tote, and upper torso was located. The upper torso had numerous rigid cuts at the site where the head was removed, consistent with a separated head. Also located in the tote was a carving knife consistent with a kitchen knife. So I think we're up to like 7 knives now, and several internal organs. Also located in the search was what appeared to be significant blood staining on an unsheeted top bed mattress, along with what appeared to be a site previously cleaned up blood on a concrete surface next to and under a significant portion of the bed. Evidence of drug use was observed in the open on top of the entertainment center, including a glass pipe and a gem bag containing light colored powder material. Also observed was evidence of blood and around a stand-up shower located in the unfinished portion of the basement, and what appear to be numerous blood drops were visible on the concrete floor in front of the shower that appeared to have been partially wiped or washed away. All right. That's where we're sitting. But Detective Scanlon goes on to report that during the search, he stayed in contact with Detective Graff and Detective Kempf, who at the time were questioning Taylor Schabusiness. Detective Scanlon reports that based on Schabusiness's statements and officers' observation of the scene, Detective Scanlon found the information Schabusiness was saying to be consistent with officers' findings during the search of the basement. So, there you go. The officers are finding literally parts everywhere. Plastic bags in the van, in buckets, knives everywhere, blood everywhere. And she's over there answering the detective's questioning and essentially corroborating everything that the police are finding. I'm good, or you? Legal Vices. Oh my goodness. Wasn't expecting this. Love you with and without the hat. Again, this is not a topic for everybody, but yeah, this is what we're looking at here. No spoilers. Come on, people. Spoilers. Vanish Mantle. Spoilers. Moving right along. Next, we have the reports of David Graff from the Green Bay Police Department, who, as we just read in the previous paragraph, was questioning Schabusiness. All right. Detective Graff reports he met with the victim's mother. This is a shitty part. I mean, the other stuff is gross, gruesome, gross, and morbidly humorous, but this part is just shitty. This part sucks. The victim's mother, TP, stated that around 9:30 p.m., Taylor D. Schabusiness came and picked up the victim. Said this was the last time she saw the victim alive. TP said that her boyfriend told her that sometime Monday night into Tuesday, February 22nd, 2022, the victim and Schabusiness returned to the home and went into the basement. TP believed that Schabusiness returned to the home and went into the basement. So, okay, at some point, they left. She didn't see her son, but they came home and went into the basement. So she didn't see him. She heard him. TP believed that Schabusiness and the victim were in the basement during the day on Tuesday. TP stated she did not go into the basement, but she did recall hearing Schabusiness talking at one point. TP stated that she and her boyfriend were out of the house during the day on Tuesday. TP stated that there was a minivan, which was Schabusiness's, parked across the road in front of the house. And the time she was not sure if it was Schabusiness's, but it turned out it was because there was a pair of legs in the back of it. TP stated that this is shitty. TP stated that sometime between 2:30 and 3 a.m. that morning, she was awoken by a storm door being slammed. TP stated that she heard a vehicle and she assumed it was Schabusiness's. TP stated that she got out of bed and saw the light in the basement was still on. TP stated that she went to see if the victim was still there because she thought Schabusiness had left. TP went into the basement and did not see anyone. So she started to walk back up the stairs, and that was when she noticed a bucket next to the bottom of the stairs. TP stated she removed a blanket that was over the bucket and discovered the head of the victim. Mom found her son's head in a bucket at the bottom of the stairs. That is shitty. That's horrific. I mean, there's no question that will fuck you up for the rest of your life and probably the lives of your grandchildren. Yeah. Mom went down to see if the girlfriend was still there and see if her son was still there, and she found her son's head in a bucket at the bottom of the stairs. Well, now let's see what Taylor Schabusiness has to say about all this. Detective Graff reports he was then informed that Taylor Schabusiness was located by patrol officers and brought to the station. Before we get into this, let's grab this here. Siddhartha Patros, thank you very much for the donation. I'm not a detective, but the Schabusiness woman seems very sus. A little bit. Seems a little bit sus. If Schabusiness ever gets out of jail ever again, warning to all men. Well, let's see how well her self-snitching job did. All right. Officer Russell informed Detective Graff that Schabusiness had a large amount of what he believed to be blood on her clothing. Detective Graff observed Schabusiness had a cut on her left thumb. Detective Graff also observed some scratches on her arms and hand that, according to Schabusiness, were self-inflicted. Detective Graff also noticed on Schabusiness's hands a red substance stain that Detective Graff believed to be blood. Well, gee, Detective Graff, I think that's a mighty fine police work you're doing there. Is this red stuff all over the house, floors, your clothes, your hands, and your arms? Could it be blood? Probably. Detective Graff spoke with Schabusiness after advising her of her rights. Again, I mean, yeah, she shouldn't have said anything. She shouldn't have said anything to the cops, especially after they read her rights, but sometimes I don't think you really need to say much for them to figure out what happened. So, after she's been advised of her rights, she decides to speak to the police. Detective Graff told Schabusiness that a few hours ago, officers were sent to a residence in Green Bay in which the head of the victim was found. Schabusiness's response was, "That's pretty fucked up." Yeah, that was her response. That's pretty fucked up. Detective Graff asked Schabusiness if she knew the victim, and she said that she did. Detective Graff confirmed with Schabusiness that she lives at the Eastman Avenue and that the van was located. There was her roommate. Oh, great. Yeah, I missed that part reading through it. The van is her roommate. Hey, roommate, do you mind if we remove the legs from the back seat of your car to use as witness in this case? To use as evidence in this case? Yeah. So the van is the roommates. I missed that the first time around. Detective Graff confirmed with Schabusiness that she drove ST's van to Eastman Avenue early in the morning. DeGraff asked where the rest of the victim's body was, and Schabusiness stated that it was still in the basement. Detective Graff asked her to tell him what happened, and Schabusiness's first comments to Detective Graff were, "That's a good question," because she blacked out during that time. Her first response then is, "Gee, I don't know, I blacked out." That's a good question. Detective Graff then asked Schabusiness if it was just her and the victim in the basement, and she said that it was and that nobody else had come down. There you go. Thank you for helping the police rule out any other witnesses. Great job, Taylor. Anybody else there? Nope, just us two, me and the dead guy. Don't know who could have done it because I was blacked out. Okay, here we go. Schabusiness stated that she and the victim were smoking the bitch, which Detective Graff was able to clarify with Schabusiness that he believed she was referring to methamphetamine. They were smoking the bitch. Is that what we're calling meth these days? The bitch? I've never heard that expression before. So they're smoking the bitch. They're smoking the meth. Schabusiness stated that the victim... Yeah, great. Schabusiness stated that the victim had a chain that he had put around his neck. Schabusiness stated that they were getting to sexual intercourse. The strangulation was part of the sex act. Of course it was. According to Schabusiness stated that she and the victim had used strangulation during sex in the past. You got to be careful when you're doing that autoerotic asphyxiation stuff. Just ask several dead people. If only this were the worst part. If only this were the worst part of the event. We've still got a page and a half to go. Joanna says, he strangled himself, I bet. Oh, no. No. We'll get to that. Alrighty then. Detective Graff asked Schabusiness questions about using ST's minivan and asked if she and the victim had contact with anybody when they first got back to the house. Again, let's help them out. Did you see anybody when you were in the house? Anybody? She already said nobody was downstairs with him. Did you see anybody? Schabusiness then made the statement, damn, the head. And I can't believe I left the head, though, referring to the victim's head. Yeah. Probably not the best statement to be making during the police interrogation about your boyfriend's missing head, missing body. Damn the head. And I can't believe I left the head, though. Okay, so we're off to a good start here. Damn the head. I can't believe I left the head. Detective Graff then asked Schabusiness where the rest of the body was, and she stated it was in the basement. Schabusiness responded that the police were going to have fun trying to find all of the organs as she dismembered the body. Schabusiness stated all of the body parts should be in the basement. Schabusiness stated there should be a foot or a leg in the minivan. Detective Graff asked Schabusiness what she did with the head, and Schabusiness said she put it in the victim's head in a black bucket and put a blanket over it. Yeah, we'll skip this. This next paragraph is just about how she dismembered the body with the bunches of knives and where the knives could be found. The last part is, so she said she did get paranoid and lazy and thought that it was the dope that was making her paranoid. Okay, Schabusiness described she and the victim were in the bed. This is how it all went down. She helped them out by telling them exactly how it went down. Schabusiness described she and the victim were in the basement and that the victim produced 2 chains, one for him and one for her. Schabusiness described the chains at the time as being chain link and silver. Schabusiness would later describe the chains as being like a dog choke collar. Schabusiness stated that she just went crazy, referring to strangling the victim. At one point during the interview, Schabusiness stated that she could feel the victim's heart beating still as she was choking him, so she kept pulling and choking him harder, but the victim wouldn't die and that he just kept rebuilding into muscle. Detective Graff asked at what point did she know the victim was not alive anymore. She stated the victim's face turned purple, blood was coming out of his mouth, but she didn't stop. Detective Graff asked what she did after the victim died. Schabusiness stated that she then played with the body. Schabusiness stated that she sucked the victim's penis, that she had a dildo that she put in the victim's mouth and then in the victim's ass. Yeah. After he was dead. Schabusiness stated that she and a friend picked up the victim in ST's minivan after picking up the drugs. Now, this is what she did before this happened. Schabusiness stated that she, her friend, and the victim smoked marijuana, and she and the victim smoked some meth. Schabusiness's friend left. Then Schabusiness reported that she then shot up herself and the victim with trazodone. She's loaded for bear. I mean, that's a cocktail and a half. So then they all leave. They go down in the basement, and Schabusiness stated that she then began to choke the victim, and she described it as the victim lying face down on her bed with her on top of him, pulling on the end of the chain. The victim coughed up blood, and she was just waiting for him to die while she was watching his face. Schabusiness made the comment that she was already this far, so she just kept going. Well, I've already gone this far, may as well just keep going. Schabusiness said in a lower tone of voice, yeah, I liked it. That's why she just kept on. Yeah, I liked it. Took about 3 to 5 minutes for the victim to die. Detective Kemp clarified with Schabusiness that when the victim began to cough up blood, she just did keep on choking the victim because she wanted to see what happened. Schabusiness made comments that she blacked out while choking the victim, but when she woke up, that the victim was already purple, so she kept going. Well, why the hell not? Why not just keep going? You could wake up and go, holy crap, I'm choking this dude out. Or you can go, I've already gone this far, so I may as well just keep going. And she chose the latter. Schabusiness stated she enjoyed choking him and made comments to detectives asking if they knew what it was like to love something so much that you kill it. Schabusiness stated she played with the victim's body like for 2 or 3 hours, which included all the stuff we just talked about. So she played with his body for 2 or 3 hours, then she chopped him up. Schabusiness stated that the plan was for her to bring all the body parts with her, but she got lazy and only ended up putting the leg or foot in the van and forgot the head. Well, fuck me. That's the criminal complaint. And that is about the most fucked up thing I've ever read. So, with that in mind, she gets arrested, and then it's time to go to trial. Now, when this goes to trial, I have a pretty sneaky suspicion this is not going to be a lengthy trial. I don't imagine this is going to be a 6-week trial or a 1-month trial. I mean, the Chandler Halderson's trial was what, 2 weeks, something like that? Well, not counting the COVID time he had. So he was denying it. I mean, she's kind of admitted everything already, and the police have it down. And yeah, I would imagine this would be a week trial at most, and most of that would just be entering things into evidence. So yeah, that's where we stand on that. I don't think there's too much that needs a trigger warning going on from this point forward, but that was the criminal complaint. That's what the prosecutors put together. Let's quickly bounce through these super chats. Van Ray Lol 5, thank you very much. Is Amber Heard sure she wasn't SV'd by Schabusiness? Sounds like Schabusiness did what AH claimed JD did, minus the murder. Hey, Maiden Iron. Oh my God. Thank you so much. Deeply appreciate that. Cheers to your awesome channel. Thanks, but it's kind of weird to say that after what I just read. But thank you anyway. Carlos Estrada, Death by Yandere. Okay. God dang. So yeah, that's what the prosecutor has to work with. So as a defense lawyer, as her defense, which I'm assuming is probably the public defender, what do you do with that? Now, what I want to play is the first hearing. All right, here we are. Benry Lal, thank you very much again. Kill F. Mary, Chandler Halderson's girlfriend, Amber Heard, and Schabusiness. Oh man, you son of a bitch! God damn it! How did? Wow, I don't even know how to answer that. Okay, I take the safe route. Well, see, now this is a shitty question. This is unfair because clearly the right answer for effing is Amber Heard. But that means you've got to marry either Chandler. Okay, I'd marry him. Would I marry Chandler? Yeah, I'd probably choose Mary for girlfriend and yeet Schabusiness. All right, that's my final answer. F the girlfriend. No, F Amber Heard, marry the girlfriend, and then yeet Schabusiness. Does that meet with everybody's approval? That's the best. I think that's the best combination you can come up with. I don't think there's. I mean, this is like asking if you want to be burned, eaten by live ants, or death by 1,000 cuts. I mean, none of the options are particularly enjoyable. None of the combination makes me jump for joy, but I think that's the safe one. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, dang, that's rough. Back to where we were. Where do you go with this if you're a defense lawyer? Oh, and by the way, another random comment. I got me a nice new comfortable chair. I was tired of sitting on this stupid metal folding chair because I never spent much time on my computer at home. But now I am. So I got me a little comfy chair here. So tell me, where do we go with this? What do we do as a defense lawyer? What are our options? Well, I'm going, she's crazy, Your Honor. That was their first line of defense. Now, again, what I want to do here is I want to play. I want to play this first hearing, and the audio on these are really, 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 really bad. So I'll be watching the comments, and if it gets too bad, if the audio is just like so bad you can't bear to watch it, then I'll bail and just summarize this first hearing. Van Stripe said, I plead curious. Alrighty, let's see. We need to bring this up. Again, got the volume as loud as it can be. And here we are. Let's boom, bring this up. And again, the audio is shit on this. So just let me know if you can't hear it. And we'll feel free to talk over this. It's, and we can skip through a lot of it too if we need to. Carlos Estrada, thank you again. Hire Elaine and pull the Me Poo card. Yeah, I don't think Me Poo is going to help in this one. So, okay, before we go, all right, who thinks she went to Chandler Halderson and route and took a nibble? I mean, seriously, now do you see what I mean by if she did all of that and she didn't take a bite, I would be shocked. I would be surprised if she didn't have a little taste of the victim. Siddhartha Patra, Your Honor, it was all a prank. I mean, she's lost the ability to use the shaggy defense. Wasn't me. But yeah, I think she nibbled. She had to have. That was pretty weird. But all right, now again, this is really, really, really quiet audio. So we'll do the best. And again, tell me if this is too shit and you want me to bail, and then I will do it.
Be seated. Zoom.
Can we even hear this? All right. They're getting set.
Okay.
Oh, that was a nice Zoom.
All right. Now I can see Mr. Business. I'm going to call this case State of Wisconsin versus Taylor Business 22 CF.
And this is Schabusiness over here on the top left of the TV screen.
Our Attorney Saunders for the state. Mr. Business is appearing via the Zoom. Also appearing in court are attorneys Quinn Jolly.
Apparently the judge is the father from Modern Family.
Both of whom have filed notices of retainer in this file. There's a few things that are pending. Two things, I think. One is a motion filed by Mr. Jolly to the Attorney Council. Another is a motion filed by Mr. Jolly to address the issue of competency to proceed.
Okay, see, this is the defense lawyer's first line of defense. He's made a motion to have a psych evaluation saying she's not fit to stand trial.
Mr. Jolly and
Saying you can't stand trial unless you're competent and can understand why you are there. That's generally the fitness to stand trial. You have to be able to understand the proceedings and actively assist in your own defense.
Everyone that appears in court in this state has a right to be represented by an attorney, and if they can't afford one can be appointed for them at public expense. Same time, everyone has a right to, if they want.
This is it. This is maxed out, Safari Dream.
Those are
I've maxed the YouTube. I mean, the Facebook video. I've maxed my mixer and I've maxed the output. This is it.
Files, appearance requests. I guess actually there is a third piece of this, which is Mr. Jolly has asked that the documents related to the attorney issue be held confidential by the court. I'm going to start with you, Mr. Jolly. You filed those motions before the court. I'm going to ask you to address me regarding the issue of the counsel, as well as the issue related to the sealing of those documents.
There's the three things. There's a motion about her helping with counsel, about competency, and then sealing documents.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. I was appointed on March 3rd by the State Public Defender's Office to represent this.
Hey, dude, see that long black thing pointing towards your mouth? Turn it towards you.
I then heard that she was then contacted by another attorney, Ms. Richmond.
I'll do ASMR. How's that?
I heard that I did go down and talk to Ms. Business again. She didn't understand who the other attorney, Ms. Richmond, was, why she was there. I talked to Taylor about that. She did not want Ms. Richmond or anybody else other than me to represent her in this matter.
Ms. Richmond?
Yes, thank you. On March 3rd, I did check the CCAP file to see if there was an attorney appointed for her or one that was representing her at that point. When I checked, there was no one listed. My intent was to go to the jail the following day. That didn't happen. We didn't go. And I say,
wow, those are some really big
that we're going together.
closed caption.
We did see her that Monday. We discussed with her. I had also been contacted, by a cousin of Ms. Schabusiness via Facebook regarding representing her. With regard to that, we went out and talked to Ms. Schabusiness on Monday, the 8th. And when we did that, she did say that she did not want a public defender. She wanted to have someone else represent her. We did offer to take her case pro bono, and she was interested in that due to the fact that it was not going to cost me her anything. And she did sign. Later that day, I sent my assistant back out to the jail along with.
Okay, so she's.
And she did sign a defendant's consent for substitution of counsel. When that was sent,
She's getting the free lawyer.
I got no response. I did make a phone call to him.
But she's not answering.
Back from him. I did file my notice of retainer. Then I learned that Attorney Jolly had the Sheriff's Department block me from going to talk to Ms. Schabusiness, and that I was no longer allowed to visit her at the jail or further discuss the issue with her.
Yes, Your Honor. I've never had anybody block anybody at the jail. I don't have that.
So she's not cooperating with her lawyers apparently here.
Document that was also filed with your motion, Mr. Jolly, Justice's signature on it.
This is the worst audio ever.
Subsequent to the document filed by Ms. Richmond. What can you tell me about that?
Your Honor, I will tell you that I was not in the office. I was sick that Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of that week. I did not actually receive any of Ms. Richmond's motions or whatever she had sent over. I know Mr. Baratazan had said that something was filed. That's why I went out to see Taylor to see if she wanted another attorney.
So they're trying to figure out what she wants to do about her lawyer.
She signed the document.
She wants one. She wants another one. She stops cooperating with the lawyer. She won't let the lawyer talk to her. She wants another lawyer, but they don't know what to do.
These documents sealed.
No, Your Honor.
No.
All right. So
I'm trying to talk quietly.
actually, I'm going to turn to the state. You're obviously a party to this case. Do you have anything you want to add? Mr. Saunders.
I guess the state's only interest would be what the court talked about at the beginning, recognizing the defendant's Sixth Amendment rights. The issues theoretically down the road if those aren't deemed to be followed with, but ultimately the state doesn't take a position on police counsel.
The Sixth Amendment, that's the right that guarantees the rights of criminal defendants to have a quick trial and the right to a lawyer and an impartial jury and to know who your accusers are and what charges have been made. Yeah, so that's the judge confirming she has a right to have whoever she wants to be a lawyer. If she doesn't want you around, she doesn't want you around.
The problem that I'm facing right now is there's another motion.
And so now the judge is saying, okay, she can have whoever she wants as a lawyer, but he's also concerned that they're alleging she's not fit to stand trial.
Situation in which
And so if she's not fit to stand trial, is she fit to decide who her lawyer is?
and that's a concern that I have. And so I'm going to ask that, Mr. Jolly.
I've got a lawyer for you.
Here's what I'm going to indicate. The way public defenders get appointed is the public defender does an evaluation of the individual to determine if they're eligible to be appointed an attorney through that office. When they do that interview, they need to gather certain financial information, certain data about what is.
See, this is the problem. They're using condenser directional mics, and they're not pointing the mics in the right direction. None of them are.
Wouldn't get a public defender appointed. For that process, this Schabusiness would have had to cooperate with the public defender. So I start from the assumption that she was a willing participant.
Yeah, see, so to get the public defender, you have to ask for one. She apparently asked for one, so he's saying that kind of indicates that she was competent to appoint a lawyer.
Pursue a public defender and then choose to switch from it. That wouldn't be unusual at all. On the other hand, I'm satisfied under the circumstances that it exists right now. I'm going to allow Mr. Jolly to proceed with his motion for competency.
Okay, so now before he decides about the lawyer, he's going to
Depending on
hear,
what the
yeah,
court decides to do.
he's going to hear the competency argument.
If, for example, I deny the motion and find there is no basis for it. In other words, there's no concern regarding this business's competency. She'll simply choose who she wants to represent. If, on the other hand, I determine based upon the motion that's been submitted that there is reason to be concerned about her competency, and I order an evaluation. If that evaluation comes back and says she's competent to proceed, then she'll be able to select who she wants, or anyone else for that matter, to represent.
Okay, to catch us up to speed here a little bit, what's going on, that constant microphone buzz was making me like go deaf in my left ear. So, all right, let's catch us up here a little bit. We're about halfway through this hearing. And so what's going on is they're making several motions. The one motion is she needs to decide what to do about her lawyers, because there's the public defender, there's the private lawyers doing a pro bono, and she's not making any sense. She applies for a public defender and then she wants a different lawyer, which you're perfectly okay doing that. But as the judge said, to get a public defender, you have to go through the process of asking for one. And then they're making a motion to say, the defense is making a motion to say that she's not competent to stand trial. And which means she's going to be in the loony bin until she becomes competent, and then they'll put her on trial. So in this situation, no, shut up.
If on the other
No,
hand,
shut up. Wait your turn, Judge. Don't interrupt me, Judge. Okay, so they're making the motion to figure out who the hell her lawyer is, and they're making the motion for defining her. The defense lawyer wants them to find that she's not competent, or to do an evaluation to decide if she's competent or not. So the judge is doing the right thing. The judge is doing the perfectly correct thing and saying, okay, the decision to change lawyers or to decide who you want to be your lawyer sort of presupposes that you're competent to make that decision. So he wants to address the competency motion first. And if he says there's no basis for the competency motion, that she's perfectly okay to stand trial or whatever, then she can decide who her lawyer is. Or if he says, okay, let's have an evaluation, she gets evaluated, they find that she's sane enough or she's competent enough to stand trial, then the judge would say, you can choose who your lawyer is. But if she goes to the competency hearing and they find out she's not competent to stand trial, then the judge is saying that would sort of include not being competent to decide who your lawyer is. So that's what we're trying to do. That's what he's saying he's doing. So now we're going to talk about the competency hearing, whether she's competent to stand trial or not.
Evaluation comes back and says she's not competent to proceed and either is unlikely to regain competence or that she is likely to regain competence.
Let me bring this up. How about that?
And that will dictate how we proceed on this issue of her selecting counsel. But I'm reluctant at this point, as a court, simply reading documents to make a determination about who she's going to choose to have her as her attorney, when the recitation of the facts clearly indicates to me she's been equivocating. It's a very important issue. Who do you want to represent in a very important case? And I'm concerned about that situation with respect to her. I'm going to allow, at this point, given the fact that Ms. Schabusiness went through the process to get a public defender, who ultimately decided to file a motion to look at competency, I'm going to allow Mr. Jolly to proceed to advance that motion as her attorney.
All right, I'm going to do something risky here.
And depending on where that lands, Ms. Schabusiness will be.
This may fuck everything up.
Mr. Jolly.
All right, it didn't. Good.
I've very little to add to my motion, other than I've had numerous conversations with Bishop Business at this point. I still have the same concern about her ability to understand the system.
God damn it, is it so fucking hard to turn the microphone? He's just basically saying that she lacks the ability to cooperate, and he's to make any sense to him.
No, I don't think so. I think I have no reason to doubt Attorney Jolly's representation.
Okay. Well, the court has a number of steps it has to follow when proceeding.
That's Schabusiness there.
First of all, I have to have reason to doubt the defendant's competency. Certainly the representation of the attorney is a factor. It's not conclusive, but it's a factor to consider. And there has to be other information or fingertips to address the issue. My understanding is, and I'm going to check with you, Mr. Solomon, the court's going to have to address probable cause.
Quentin Tarantino should play him in a movie, I think.
Hearing hasn't occurred in these competency cases your understanding?
It is.
So in analyzing this issue, I've reviewed a number of documents. I've had the occasion to review the criminal complaint in this case.
He's saying he reviewed what we just reviewed.
The motion of Mr. Jolly. And frankly, I've had an opportunity to review the documents regarding this attorney issue. Now, I know Ms. Schabusiness isn't here today. She doesn't seem to be engaging directly with the court. I can't see her face. I can see her, but she's not looking into the camera. Now she is. All right. So, first of all, this court does have reason to doubt.
So he just said the court has reason to doubt her competency.
Indicated the documents I've reviewed, the representations of Mr. Jolly, both he and Ms. Richmond all know for the record that they're funny and they're very capable and competent attorneys. But I direct now to Mr. Jolly because he's indicated that he's going to be advancing this motion. I've approved his representation for this motion based upon the circumstances in the case. And I take Mr. Jolly's opinion, take him at his word. He's an officer of the court and he's raising this issue. So satisfied that this issue regarding the attorney suggests to the court that there's reason to be concerned about the defendant's competency.
So again, the fact that she keeps going back and forth on her lawyers, not cooperating with him and whatnot,
That
is a factor
very important
that he's
decision.
considering
Gonna represent-
regarding whether or not she's competent, and figuring out who is going to represent her is an important issue.
And it's getting a little bit confusing. She's making some of these choices to allow it to be confusing on her own. And I'm satisfied that that too gives the court concern or reason to doubt the defendant's competency. Satisfied after reviewing the criminal complaint, the factors outlined in there, that for the purposes of this hearing, I'm going to find that probable cause does exist based upon.
Okay, so probable cause to have a psychiatric evaluation to find out if she's competent to stand trial
If this hearing were to have occurred after
has been made.
the preliminary hearing, the court doesn't need to delve into that as much in great depth because of the fact that probable cause is already determined. But at this stage, when it's raised before the preliminary hearing, I'm satisfied that upon my review of this criminal complaint, that sufficient probable cause is established.
So he's going to order the competency hearing.
The,
I mean, he's going to order the evaluation to see if she's competent to stand trial.
again, that's the purpose of this.
And again, for those of you that are asking, this is the absolute maximum that this is the court's shitty volume.
Let me turn to the state. Any other findings specifically you'd like me to make regarding these issues?
No, I believe the court made an appropriate record.
Mr. Jolly, any specific findings you'd like me to make regarding this?
No, Your Honor.
I am not going to grant the request to seal the documents regarding the attorney substitution issue. I'm not satisfied.
See, I'm not sure why they wanted to seal the documents, you know, regarding who is she wants to be her lawyer. I don't know why, but he denied it, so it doesn't matter.
Privilege has been in any way jeopardized. It's simply a dispute about representation. As I've indicated, when I get
So anyway, that was pretty much the important part of this. I won't subject you to any more of this horrible audio. God damn, that was just like I mean, it's a long. Never mind. There's a microphone in front of you. Just point it towards your mouth. That's all you got to do, guys. So yeah, so that was a hearing to see basically whether or not she's competent to stand trial. The judge said that in his opinion, there's sufficient reason to doubt that she is competent to stand trial. So he ordered a hearing, and the defense lawyer, I guess, chose the damn, we should have listened to the rest of this. He asked the judge to appoint someone to do the evaluation. I'm not sure if he gave a recommendation who to use to do the legal evaluation, to do the mental evaluation. But the court did that. The court said, okay, there's reason to believe she may not be competent to stand trial. So we're going to have this person. You've asked me to appoint someone to do the evaluation. So I'm going to appoint someone to do the evaluation. So they did the evaluation. Now they're coming back to have a hearing on the evaluation. Now, in the intervening month or so since this first hearing took place, they managed to learn a little bit better how to use a microphone. This second hearing on the results of the evaluation to determine whether or not she's competent to stand trial is a little better than this audio, but don't expect much. It's not that much better. I thought this was the beginning of an insanity plea, but then they asked for it to be sealed. What they asked to be sealed was like she first asked for a public defender, and then someone else came along and said, we'll do this for free. So she said she wanted there, and the two lawyers are basically arguing over who is going to be her lawyer. And for some reason, they want the documents relating to the argument, I guess, over who is her rightful lawyer to be sealed. I don't understand why, but the judge denied it anyway. So that nothing has been sealed yet. So now they just have to figure out, is she competent to stand trial and who her lawyer is. So the insanity plea we'll talk about a little bit later, because that would be the natural thing to do next. But I think there might be some problems with that. So this is the next hearing. Let me bring up the next hearing. Again, the audio is slightly better. This is it. Okay. Now, if you survived that last bad audio, please like and subscribe. Dang, we're turning off viewers by the dozens. The subscriptions are in free fall. We lost 25 subscriptions since yesterday. Like and subscribe. And this is the last time we'll be dealing with this until July. But let's see what this next hearing. This is the results of the hearing. This is the results of the mental evaluation to see if she's competent to stand trial. All right, let's turn that down just a little bit. All right. There. I still think Quentin Tarantino needs to play him in a movie.
Okay, I'll call this case then. This is 20 CF.
Congratulations, Judge, for having your mic pointed directly at your desk.
Actually, pardon me, it's 22 CF 363. State of Wisconsin.
Extreme close-up on Court Reporter.
Appears by District Attorney Lizzie. The defendant is appearing via the Zoom from the jail. And in court is the attorney that's representing her on the competency matter, Quinn Jolly. Also appearing is attorney Heather Richmond. We're on the court's calendar today for a review of the competency evaluation that this court ordered. I'm in receipt of the competency evaluation. Let me just check with the parties. Mr. Lizzie, has the state received that evaluation?
Yes, we have.
And the results of the evaluation
Mr.
are.
Jolly, have you and your client had an opportunity to receive that and review it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So that report has some specific findings indicating that, according to this evaluator, Ms. Schabusiness is competent to proceed. Mr. Jolly,
Okay, there you go. The result of the competency evaluation was that she is competent to stand trial. So again, what would have happened if they would have found she was incompetent or not competent to stand trial? In other words, not able to understand the nature of the proceedings and not able to actively assist with her defense. Then they would have put her in the loony bin They would have put her in the hospital and got her treatment until she was deemed competent. And then when she's deemed competent, then they would put her on trial. But they found that she was competent to stand trial. So what the judge is saying is we can move forward with a trial at this point.
Your client's position?
Your Honor, at this point, my client would be seeking a second examination. The court must appoint one examiner, but can appoint more.
Now here's the defense lawyer. That first person you appointed to evaluate her and they found out that she was competent. Well, we want you to we want to get a second opinion. He's asking for another opinion. So, the law says that the judge has to appoint one person, but the judge can appoint more if he wants. So he's saying basically, I didn't like the answer the first one gave, so I would like another one, please. And let's see what the judge thinks about that.
After review of the report and the examiner's comments to the court, that the court should remain sensitive in the event of any signs of fluctuations in her overall mental status and behavioral stability. Such changes.
This is a life imprisonment case.
Ms. Schabusiness has been receiving mental health treatment since the 7th grade. She's been psychiatrically hospitalized multiple times. She's been diagnosed with bipolar and psychotic. This may have been one of her better days. However, I'm very surprised at the result of this report.
So his argument is she's been getting treatment since she was a child, and maybe the competency examiner just happened to catch her on a lucid day, but she's usually not lucid. So we'd like another opinion, please.
Okay, so you're asking the court to appoint another evaluator to essentially review what this report was. Is that what you're indicating?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Lizzie, does the state take any position on that?
No, we don't have a strong position on this. However, I would know Dr. Collins is highly respected. He's the head of that.
And he's just basically saying, yeah, we think the first lady did a great job. We don't think you need to do this again.
Evaluations, we've accepted her reports on countless occasions. I'm not sure that the county or the state should pay for a second evaluation. I know there's other alternatives. The defense is entitled to have an expert evaluate their client at any time under sub 2, sub G of the statute. So I won't take a strong position one way or the other. I just wanted to note that we highly respect Dr. Collins' opinions on these issues.
Sweet Arts asked, do they have the death penalty in Wisconsin? No. Wisconsin was one of the first states to permanently ban the death penalty. So it's a life imprisonment.
Whereby you could select your own evaluator, and you're asking me to appoint someone else when I've already appointed this individual.
This is the judge saying, you got to be shitting me. Just what I just said. So what you're saying is you asked me to appoint someone. I appoint someone. You don't like the answer. So you're asking me to appoint someone else. And you can tell by the look in his face, he's not really pleased by that.
Have you thought about pursuing that on your own and selecting your own evaluator? You're specifically asking me to select.
Yeah. You didn't like the one I appointed. So how about you? Do you want to appoint someone? Or are you just asking me to appoint a second one again? Sup, Tay? Tay in the house. Sup, Schabusiness? Mind your own fucking Schabusiness. Life as in without parole.
I guess here's the thing, counsel. I don't have any problem at all, really, if the defense is looking to get what would amount to a second opinion by someone of their choosing. Where I'm struggling here, and I guess I'm telegraphing this to you, Mr. Jolly, is it sounds like you're looking to the court to say,
Possibly.
the first one you pick somebody else, and I'm not sure I'm there yet. So
Schabusiness Carry Girl is 24 years old.
I guess I'm going to need a little bit. You outline a little bit about what your position is.
Keep my wife's Schabusiness out your fucking mouth.
But not convinced before I'm going to order another public expense to those somebody else from perhaps the same facility to do another evaluator. And Mr. Lizay is correct, this individual has done.
So he's saying, do we need to go to the expense of having someone at the same hospital do the same test when the first person that did it is very good at what she does?
By someone that I choose, I've already chosen someone and they've done an evaluation. So I'm not inclined to grant that request. If upon discussion with your client, you want to make a request to have someone of your choosing, do it again, as I indicated, I don't have a problem with that.
Okay, so he's saying, hey, you asked me to appoint someone, I appointed someone. And then you want me to get someone else, I'm done. But if you want to do it on your own dime, I'll listen to it.
We could just continue this until we get a different answer. I'm not inclined to do that.
Yeah, and so you say, how many times are we going to do this? We're just going to keep going over this till we get a new answer that says she's not competent and you win?
This, you can do that, but certainly the report indicates that this is something that should be monitored throughout. That if further questions arise, that there should be a reevaluation done. But I'm not going to order somebody else to do another one that this court selects. If you want to request to do that independent evaluation done by someone you select through funding.
Great camera work.
I know is available. I'll
God dang.
certainly approve that.
Yeah, so they're going to leave it up to the defense. If they want to find someone on their own dime, their own time to do another evaluation, go ahead. But the state's not going to waste their money doing it again.
They're going to pursue that.
Right.
So that's what they're going to do. They're going to choose someone.
Then that's certainly within the realm of things that occur at these types of hearings. And I think the next thing to do, counsel, would be for me to set another status conference when we receive that report. And then at that point in time, the attorneys can decide how they want to proceed, be it with a contested competency hearing or something else. Mr. Lizay, does that sound like a reasonable course of action?
It does, Your Honor, and I just would inquire from the defense whether they know that funding has already been approved and if they can get someone in short order.
Big Dragon, the woman in pink, she's the court reporter. She's typing every word they say. Those typewriters are pretty damn cool. They have it's like a shorthand typewriter.
Okay, well.
It takes a lot of training and skill to use those.
That creates a little bit of concern regarding the timing of the next hearing, of course. At the same time, I guess I would want to know promptly if funding isn't approved. Because then we may need to get back together sooner and decide what's the next course of action there. But does 30 days sound a reasonable period of time, Mr. Lizay?
Mm-hmm.
It does to me, as long as.
So give them 30 days to find their own evaluator and to appoint them and to get the report and attend the next hearing.
I'm assuming, Mr. Jolly, you've had that conversation.
Yes, Your Honor.
Sound that 30 days sound like a reasonable time frame, because you're going to have to get the authorization, the approval for the funding. You're going to have to then get the evaluator lined up, and then get the evaluation done, get a report, and then get us back into court. Does that sound like a reasonable amount of time?
It does, Your Honor.
Your Honor, as far as scheduling, I would ask to be able to be withdrawn from the case, then I don't need to worry about my calendar and coming back. It appears the defendant is moving forward with Mr. Jolly in line with that.
Okay.
So if I could be excused from the case, that would be great.
Sure, and I can do that, Ms. Richmond. I appreciate
Okay, so we've just solved the lawyer problem. The female lawyer's like, I'm out of here. She can have him. I'm done.
Before
Don't bother me anymore.
making further inquiry of Mr. Business on this topic, on the topic of representation, because I consider this still an issue that's contested. I wasn't ready to make inquiry to that effect, but I'm happy to excuse you from any further participation in the case. And you're not.
See you later, lawyer dude.
Okay.
Thank you.
Very good. So I'm looking at a date about 30 days hence.
Rain on and off. We know what the weather is in Wisconsin a month ago.
It's a little bit before 30 days, but on May 10 at 3 o'clock, Mr. Jolly, does that work for you?
It does, Your Honor.
And I guess for some reason they had to delay it. So she went and had the new evaluation. And again, to catch everybody up, the lawyer asked the judge to appoint someone to make an evaluation. Is she competent to stand trial? The judge said, okay, and appointed somebody. They got the report back, said she's perfectly okay to stand trial. She's perfectly competent. Defense lawyer says, well, I don't like that answer. Can we get a second opinion? Can you appoint somebody else to do another evaluation? And so the judge says, well, you asked me to appoint someone and I did. And just because you don't like the answer doesn't mean I'm going to do it again. I don't think we need to waste the state's money to have another evaluation. And then how many times you're going to ask to do this? But if you want to spend your own money and find someone to evaluate her, then go ahead and I'll consider it. And so the defense said, that's what we're going to do. And so the judge says, all right, you've got about 30 days. And if you need more, whatever. So the lawyers for the defense go out and find their own person to conduct the psychiatric evaluation to see if Taylor Schabusiness is competent to stand trial. Now, the last hearing that we're going to look at was last Wednesday, I believe. So that, and this new hearing, they've all got their shit figured out. The mics are just fine for the next one, I believe, if I remember correctly. So this is one step closer to being able to go to trial. Is this the sex slave who butchered her captor? No, this is the woman who got high on a cocktail of 3 really super potent drugs. Her and her boyfriend went to choke each other out. She went nuts, choked him to death, chopped up his body, left his head in a bucket for the mother to find, and then scattered body parts all over the car and the basement, and basically turned his internal organs into a puzzle. Yeah. But she did a good chop up job on him. Wow. So this next hearing, we get the second report back, and then they have the hearing. And while I bring this up, let's clear off a few of these that I've been delaying for a while. Sorry for the delay in getting to these. Paul Forrester, I hope you're still here and haven't freaked out and ran away from me. Appreciate your comment, your commitment to content. Keep it up. I will keep it up. No worries. Carlos Estrada, she def rubbed and drank the blood. Oh, you know she did. I have no reason to believe she didn't. Like I said, if she didn't do that, that would be odd at this point, given everything else she did. Hector Cortez, thank you so much for the donation. Don't want to be that PD. Last guy who had some time. last guy who had some alone time with her ended up with his thing in a bucket next to his head. Ugh. Yeah. And Chris Edwards, she admitted to it and said she liked it. Yes, that is true. She did it, but she still gets a defense. Unless she pleads guilty, which she didn't do, she still gets a defense. That's her right. And that's why people like the public defender stand up for it. That's his job, is to make sure everyone's right to a fair trial is protected. So the next time you are accused of doing a cocktail of drugs, murdering and dismembering your loved one, your rights are protected because of people like this public defender. Words to live by. Platinum Lemur says, don't look up the pegging. Yeah. If you don't know that term, don't look it up. Yeah. So let's get to the latest hearing report. And while I'm bringing this up, please don't forget to like and subscribe. People are doing the opposite of subscribing at this point. So whatever. Come on, just give me a like and a subscribe. We got to get me back up to 20,000. That makes me sad. All right. While you're liking and subscribing, which I know all of you are, I know if I check, I'll see 468 likes because I know you're all doing it. I will bring up the next hearing. The last hearing we'll be looking at today, and then we'll have a few comments. Taylor Schabusiness. Here we go. That is not Taylor Schabusiness.
Nobody else is ready? That other one, you heard about that? Yeah.
Canaho, alleged Canaho. She's a hoe, but we don't know if she was a canny. Yo, Shabiz, she's aged like 10 years in the last 5 months.
Okay, I'm going to call State of Wisconsin versus Taylor Schabusiness. Case number is 22 CF 363.
Oh, listen to that beautiful audio.
Here with Mr. Jolly. Mr. Saunders is appearing for the state. Case scheduled today for a preliminary hearing. Are the parties prepared to proceed?
Oh, yes,
The state is.
it is.
The state is.
All right. State calls first witness.
The state calls Detective David Groff.
Yeah, it's funny that I lost 50 subscribers, but hey, I didn't have 50 subscribers to lose 3 weeks ago.
I do. David Groff, G-R-A-F.
Can you state for the record how you're currently employed?
I'm a detective with the Green Bay Police Department.
And how long have you been employed with the Green Bay Police Department?
I have 29 years of law enforcement experience, 25 with the Green Bay Police Department, 15 years as a detective.
Damn, bro, you know how to use a microphone.
And in the course of your duties as a detective with the Green Bay Police Department, do you have prior experience investigating crimes of homicide?
Yes,
And have you previously had cause to assist in such investigations in the past?
correct.
Sorry to ruin your
I'd like your
beautiful
direct
Sunday
attention
afternoon
to
in Sweden.
February of this year. Were you involved in
Found my
an
new home.
investigation
Aw,
of
thanks.
a homicide around that time?
Yes,
And if you can, what was the nature of that investigation?
I was notified to respond to in the middle of the night to investigate a homicide. When the initial reports were that the mother of the victim had returned or actually had gone down into the basement of her residence and discovered
How is this a
head
trial?
of her son in the bucket. And so then she then called the police. Initial officers responded, secured the scene, and then detectives were called in.
They literally start to pause here. This is an important point. Like, how is this even a trial? She admitted everything. They caught her literally red-handed. She has a right to a trial. And that's why they say you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. Because her admission doesn't mean they can just throw her in jail for the rest of her life without a trial. If she pleads guilty at the arraignment and says, yes, I admit to doing this, then you don't have the trial. But if she says not guilty, then she has the right to the trial. And that's what she's doing here. And so, as her Miranda warning right said, anything she said can and will be used against her in a court of law. So what she said will be evidence against her in her trial. And that's why I was saying at the beginning that I do not expect this to be a very long trial. I would guess most of the trial would be the various police officers we read about in the complaint, and including this guy, testifying as to what they saw and introducing evidence. Can't imagine the defense is going to have a really great defense in this case. Back to Mr. Loud Volume here.
And the residence that was reported to have occurred at, are you familiar with where that residence is located?
It's located on the west side in the city of Green Bay, Brown County, Wisconsin.
And did you assist in that investigation?
I did.
What were some of your responsibilities?
My initial responsibilities were to interview several witnesses, including the victim's mother,
God, that
as
poor
well
woman.
As the suspect herself.
The suspect that you referred to just now, who is that individual identified as?
Taylor Schabusiness?
In the course of this investigation, did you have cause to personally interview Ms. Schabusiness?
I did.
The person who you're referring to as Ms. Schabusiness, do you see him or her in court today?
I do. She's located at the defense counsel in the orange jumpsuit.
And as the record reflect, the witness has identified the defendant.
Oh, I'm sorry. I left out a very important detail that I should have mentioned. The results of the second competency hearing came back, and she was found competent to stand trial by the person appointed by the defense counsel themselves. So this is the first preliminary hearing. So yeah, she underwent the 2 competency evaluations, and then it was on May 19th that the judge said that she was competent to stand trial in her own defense. So this is just the beginning. This is a preliminary hearing to determine whether there is sufficient evidence to move forward with a trial. That was the point of this most recent hearing, which was like Wednesday, I believe, maybe Thursday. So yeah, they want to see if there's probable cause, if there's sufficient evidence to go forward with the trial. I don't know. What do you guys think? You think there's enough evidence to bring this woman to trial? Well, yes, there is.
Yes, yes.
I've given you Exhibit 1. Do you recognize that?
Yes.
And what is that exhibit?
This is the amended criminal complaint of State of Wisconsin versus Taylor Schabusiness.
Have you reviewed that document prior to today's hearing?
I did.
Directing your attention to the probable cause section of that document, are you familiar with the reports that are referenced in that section of that document?
Yeah, let's
Yes,
not
I
go
am.
over this again.
Have you previously had cause to review those reports as well?
I did.
Those reports,
Oh yeah, you got to take a little
Are
nib.
those,
If you've gone that far, take a
reportedly
little
from
nib.
officers from within your department?
Correct. And detectives.
And are those of the type of reports that you've commonly relied upon in the course of your duties?
Yes.
As a detective, do you commonly sort of review all the reports that are part of a case?
Yes, especially as a case detective. in
Tim,
this
come
case.
back. Watch the end of this.
You are
We'll
familiar
miss
with
you.
the, information that's contained within those reports as well?
Yes.
Based upon your knowledge of those reports and your review of the probable cause section of Exhibit 1, do you believe the information in Exhibit 1 truly and accurately reflects those reports?
I do.
And are they consistent as well, specifically with your details that are referenced beginning on page 4? Are those consistent with your personal recollection of this investigation as well?
Yes, they do.
Okay, the dog is barking on camera. I thought that was
I
my
believe
dog.
Exhibit
That was weird.
1.
Why is there a dog in the courtroom?
Mr. Johnson?
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay, receive it subject to cross.
And I have no further questions. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Johnson?
No question.
Okay, so that's basically he's saying, did you investigate it? Did you write this report? Are you familiar with the details of the report? Are the details of the report accurate? Yes. Oh, guess that is my dog. Why are they freaking out at 11:30 at night? Sorry. No, it was my dog. It wasn't a therapy. Dogs won't bark. I mean, they're like real ones are trained not to bark. But yeah, one of my bulldogs are freaking out for some reason. But yeah, anyway, it was basically here's the criminal complaint. Are you familiar with it? Is it accurate? Does it represent what you heard? Yes. Okay. The state is done. And then they asked the defense if there was any cross-examination, and they said, nope, we don't have any questions for him. So they're going to run with it.
Questions for this witness, Your Honor?
Okay. You're all set. Do you have any other evidence to offer today?
No.
Original ghoul, wrong. Why is it women look hot with makeup, but when you see them without, they scare children? No, they not in all cases. And there's a lot of dudes that should wear makeup too. Well, there's a lot of dudes that do wear makeup.
Find over based on Detective Groff's testimony here, as well as the contents of Exhibit 1. I believe there's probable cause for the commission of a felony offense.
Mr. Jolly?
No argument at this time, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, based on the information contained in Exhibit 1.
Okay. See, that's how this is going. The prosecution says, we believe there is sufficient evidence to go forward with the trial. The judge says, what about you, defense? What do you think? He's like, yeah, we got nothing. So do you have any objection? Yeah, nope. I got nothing to say.
One is Detective Cross testimony here today. I do find that there's probable cause. I believe the defendant committed a felony offense within the jurisdiction of the court. I'll order that she be bound over for trial schedule and arraignment in branch 2.
June 20th at 9:30.
I'm out at the office that week.
July 5th at 8:30.
That work?
Okay, if there's any victims present, is there any issue with those dates?
No, that date works.
Okay.
July 5th.
Sorry, July 5th at, thank you.
Anything else from either party?
No.
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, matters adjourned. Thank you.
All right. So as you heard back here,
Thank you.
Okay, if there's any victims present, is there any issue with those dates?
No, that date.
wait, back up just a few seconds.
Branch 2.
June 20th at 9:30.
God damn it.
Testimony here as well as the contents of Exhibit 1.
All right.
There's probable cause for the commission of a felony offense.
Cannibalism is a victimless crime.
Okay, based on the information contained in Exhibit 1 and Detective Cross testimony here today, I do find that there's probable cause. I believe the defendant committed a felony offense within the jurisdiction of the court. I'll order that she be bound over for trial schedule and arraignment in branch.
Okay, so the arraignment, as you just heard, will be on July 5th. The arraignment is where they say guilty or not guilty, and she will have to see how she pleads. So July 5th will be the first of many official court dates after this one. July 5th should be a party time. The arraignment would be very short. I would imagine it would be about 5 minutes because they just have to read the complaints and ask, do you plead guilty or not guilty? And that's about it. Wow. Well, there we are. That brings us up to date on the Taylor Schabusiness thing. I just wanted to make sure they were going to go ahead with the trial before I put any time into it. But thankfully, they decided to go ahead. They're going to go ahead with the trial unless she pleads guilty. You know, we'll just have to see how it goes. I mean, it's a tough case. She loses, she goes to jail for the rest of her life without parole. I mean, it's kind of like we saw with Chandler, with Canabro or whatever we're calling him these days. You got nothing to lose by going to trial. I mean, you plead guilty and that's it. It's over. It's done. You go to jail for the rest of your life. So, you know, why the fuck not plead not guilty? I mean, hell, I always contest every traffic ticket I get in the States because, hey, you know, if they can't prove it, there's an off chance that the cop isn't going to be able to prove that I was speeding. Yeah, so there's literally nothing to lose by pleading not guilty and going through with a trial. Again, if she does that, I believe it's going to be an extraordinarily short trial. Again, I can't imagine it going more than a week. And I would guess, again, it's hard to predict how juries will react to cases. It's hard to predict what the outcome of the case will be. But my money's going on a guilty verdict in this case. That's where my money's going. Isaac Bruce, wholesome gabagool art. Thank you for the donation. Thought's gonna thought. Thanks for the coverage, Vices. You're welcome, Isaac Bruce, wholesome gabagool art. Because I just wanted to say that again. Soy Mafia says, based on today, how much do I need to pledge in order for you to enjoy a bucket o' meat on Korean barbecue? Gogi gooey. Man, you don't have to pledge anything for me to enjoy a bucket of meat. I had a bucket of meat today. Had some bulgogi and some naengmyeon and some other good stuff. But hey, feel free to donate whatever you want. Yeah, we're good. So now, all right. So she chose to do drugs. So how can you plead insanity? Let's talk about that. Their first line of defense was to say she's not competent to stand trial. So they asked the court to appoint someone, hoping desperately that they would find she just doesn't understand what's going on. She can't actively assist in her defense. So therefore, she's not competent to stand trial and needs to go to a facility where she'll be treated. And eventually, if she ever gets competent, then they can move forward with the trial. But the evaluation came back that she was competent to stand trial. The defense said, well, let's try that one more time. We didn't like that. We didn't like that answer. So can we have another evaluation? And the court said, on your own dime. So they got another evaluation on their own dime, and that came back competent to stand trial too. So then they move ahead. This was the next phase. Say, okay, now that she's competent to stand trial, do we have sufficient evidence to move forward with trial? Do we have sufficient grounds to move forward with a trial? The judge said, yep. So next will be the arraignment. Do you plead guilty or not guilty? And then we'll see how it goes. July 5th will be the big date to see how she pleads. And again, she has zero reason to plead guilty. She's got nothing to lose. If she pleads guilty, she instantly loses everything. Now, my Beavers Jr., how's that hangover doing for you? We're taking the edge off. No, today was a good day. So what about the insanity defense? I mean, that's not up yet, but that's definitely an option. Dude, Alpha Fox she had a bucket of meat too. There's actually a Korean dish called sagoltang, which is basically like, bone soup kind of thing. Like, anyway, yeah. My Beavers, how's the cannibal say hello? He offers you a handshake. Yeah. So the insanity defense, that is an option. I mean, that's what I would argue. I mean, this doesn't sound like a sane person. However, I think there's some problems. I mean, you diminished capacity because she was out of her mind on 3 different mega drugs. I don't know how that would be handled under Wisconsin law, but the bigger problem is the fact that she tried to cover it up. I mean, not very fucking well, mind you. She didn't do a real fucking good job of covering it up, but she tried. She tried to clean up a little bit. She at least moved a leg out to the van. She tried to cover it up. That shows that a little bit that she knew she was doing something wrong. I think, like, I don't know how they would handle diminished capacity in Wisconsin. But my biggest problem with a insanity defense would be that she obviously knew she was doing something wrong because she was trying to hide it. She was trying to chop him up and clean up the place. So that would be my pride. Yeah. That's a big problem to me. I mean, how do you argue that she was completely insane and didn't know what she was doing? She didn't know she was committing a crime when she tried to clean it up. So, I mean, I would argue it, but I don't think it's going to work. I don't think anything is going to work. As soon as, I'm sure they took lots of pictures of her covered with blood and lots of pictures of the house, and definitely pictures of all of the different bits and pieces. It's going to be hard to argue away from all of that. So, I mean, essentially, this is a just going through the motions trial, I believe. I mean, I don't believe there's any realistic chance whatsoever of... Sorry, just got a message from one of my friends saying that her husband yelled at their son because he was drunk. I should probably give some words of consolation, but so good on you, kid. But yeah, so I mean, you don't have any other options. You've got to go for an insanity defense. It's kind of hard to go for it wasn't me defense. It's what else do you have? But then again, you just got to go through the motions and hopefully, as they were apparently trying to do in the Chandler Halderson case, just hope that through some weird extreme situation, the prosecutor somehow makes a royal fuck up of epic proportions that gets the case thrown out or gets a hung jury or something. But yeah, I'm pretty much thinking this is a go through the motions. It's sensational. It's going to be on the news. I'm sure it'll be it'll be somewhere in court on TV, and we'll be able to cover it live. But yeah, I think it's just going to be kind of a go through the motions, but let's make a big deal out of it because it's extraordinarily sensational. I mean, as I said in the beginning, this is probably the worst thing that I've ever read in my life. was that criminal complaint, which was why the entire front end of this was loaded with lots and lots and lots of trigger warnings. But I don't know. I mean, like I'm expecting a different answer. How do y'all see this? Do you see it going any way different? I mean, if you do, bath salts, lol. Mod showing some power. Original Google then, fine then, since you don't like my jokes, go eat a dick. There's one in a bucket next to a head. Carlos Estrada, just wait till the prosecutor mentions the fifth. Well, she's already testified against her own interests. Pleading the fifth ain't going to help her at this point. They'll say, okay, you don't have to say anything, but here's all these cool recordings we made of you when we told you that you had the right to remain silent and you didn't fucking do it. People are asking for mod powers? Why? If you have mod powers, that just means you can't pay attention to what I'm saying because you have to keep an eye on all you degenerates making comments you shouldn't be making, and you have to be propping me up. Nah. But if anybody has any desire to be a mod, just shoot me an email at my email address in the About section, and it'll be there. And we have sufficient mods to cover what we need at this point. But if one of them ever flakes out or just joins the growing list of unsubscribers, then there's always a need for a replacement. Sweethearts, how do you find whiskey in Korea? I find it delicious. I'm not sure if you're asking like how I find it quality-wise or how I find it location-wise, but quality, they got all the good stuff. Well, a lot of the good stuff here. Korean whiskey is a different story. Korean whiskey is basically, they just bring in Scotch and rebottle it and call it Korean after they proof it down to about 37%. But there is a company now called Three Societies that are actually in the process of distilling the first wholly Korean distilled, aged, and bottled Korean whiskey. Can't wait to see what that tastes like. But that's it. Yeah, God, that's a hard thing to follow. And I mean, she's toast. I mean, now, this is an interesting comment. When they arrested Dahmer, they found ice fries with a testicle, ice trays with a testicle in every other slot. When asked why, he said, sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. Yeah, nice. But I remember when Dahmer I remember before Dahmer got arrested. I mean, that was, and I mean, my first name is Jeff. So whenever, like from Korea, whenever I would send anybody mail back in the day, I would always send it under, Jeffrey Dahmer. That was kind of my thing. But yeah, so there you go. We're done until July 5th with the Schabusiness trial. So what are we going to do now? Next week, oh God, sorry for the pause here again. Zorb says, do you drink Baiju in Korea? Legal vices, or is it just a China thing? Back behind me, it's right there. That's a bottle of Chinese Baiju. Chinese Baiju is gasoline. It's just gasoline in a bottle. That's all it is. If anyone ever asks you if you want to drink Baiju, just say no. Baijiu, it occasionally will be orange flavored gasoline in a bottle. There is nothing good about that. It's Chinese death juice. Koreans have soju, which is a milder rice wine. Soju is good shit, especially if you get some like high quality distilled soju. Sorry, I get easily distracted by whiskey and cigars and pipes and things. So what I was going to say is, like, from next week, what I want to do is probably equally salacious, go over the Marilyn Manson defamation complaint. Do a little bit of background on that, start on the Manson proceedings. Again, that trial is going to be a fucking long way away. But, you know, it's always good to start now so that we can have things on file and have it locked and loaded for as things progress. So at some point next week, we'll do the Marilyn Manson thing. And now for those of you that are still hanging around here, about 11 hours from now, I'm going to be doing another live stream with a guest, Danny On, who's a lawyer that's running for the Salt Lake County in Utah, for the Utah Salt Lake County District Attorney position later on this year. I'm going to have her on because, you know, her husband's Korean. She lived here in Korea for a while, and we went to the same law school, and, you know, Utah is my hometown. So we're going to have her on to talk a little bit about the Johnny Depp trial, her thoughts on the Johnny Depp trial, you know, things like this case, like, you know, defense cases, you know, criminal, you know, justice reform, you know, looking at things from a prosecutor's point of view, as well as just talking some Utah and Korea shit. So it'll be a pretty free flowing conversation, and that'll be starting exactly 11 hours and 3 minutes from now. So check in on her. There should be a notification floating somewhere around on my channel if you check it out. So yeah, she's going to be fun to talk to. Other things coming up, like I said, I'm still trying to work out the Dennis Fung cross-examination from the O.J. Simpson trial. Court TV are brutal about their copyright claims. So I'm thinking at some point I'll just do a live stream to see how badly it gets copyright striked. And there's other places on YouTube where we can get parts of the cross-examination that I want to watch, but the main point I want to watch, the main section I want to watch, isn't where I would need it to be to avoid copyright strikes. So at some point we'll go ahead with that with the cross-examination of Dennis Fung, which I know I've talked about a lot. The only cross-examination I've seen that was better than Camille's. Sweethearts, is it Rachel Evan or Evan? It's Evan Rachel Wood is her name. Alrighty then. At this point, I think we're kind of done talking about the Schabusiness stuff and for the day. And there's not really been anything particularly new on the Johnny Depp side of the coin. But I mean, I can hang out here a bit longer, and, you know, if there's anything else anybody wants to ask, or go ahead, I'll answer as many questions as I can. Hit a couple of these things here. These are Venray Lal. Hey, thank you very much again. What do you think of Somek? Somek is it's a portmanteau of soju and mekju, soju and beer. It's basically a Boilermaker where you take soju and you drop it into a glass of beer, and then you just one-shot the thing. Poison. I mean, of course, I'll do it if someone puts it in front of me. Of course, I'm going to drink it. But yeah, there's nothing good can happen from Somek. Yeah, it's just dropping poison into barley water for me. But that's my answer to that question. So Somek's the thing here. Everybody loves doing it. It's kind of one of those drinking ritual things you have to do here. Mary Ace, thank you for the super sticker. You rock. All right, where are we here? Please, again, I'm terrible at tooting my own little horn here. 19,974 is my subscriber count. Please like and subscribe to just kind of pump me up. Why not? Carrie Girl loves the live show. Well, I'm having fun doing it. Oh, what kind of pipe tobacco do you like? A lot of Virginia. I do a lot of Virginia blends. Oriental blends are great. I'm kind of a mild to medium strength, like the super, super strong tobaccos. I'm not a big fan of. Can you smoke weed in tobacco in Korea? No. There's very little difference between marijuana and crack cocaine. And drugs are drugs are drugs are drugs. You don't want to do it. You won't like what happens to you if you get caught. Yeah. If you can't not do drugs, do not come to Korea. What is your favorite sake? Sake, I don't know a lot of brands sake, but I like mine cold. I don't like it warm. But yeah, I don't actually know any sake brands. As long as it comes in a pretty bottle, I can do it. Would you talk about the Sewol ferry disaster in its trial? Yeah, God, it's pretty unknown outside of Korea, but it's an important moment in Korean recent history. Yeah, it's been a few years. What that dealt with, I mean, it's actually still ongoing. It still hasn't been completely resolved yet. It was several years ago on April 16th, a ferry that was carrying like over 400 kids. I should know this off the top of my head, but I believe it was like something like 436. Sewol ferry. Let's pull it up real quick here. Let's see. It was 7 years ago, April 16th, 2014. Yeah. There was 476 passengers, and almost all of them were high school students, and 304 of them drowned when the ship basically capsized and just flipped upside down, and it didn't go well. Yeah. So that's a huge tragedy. It's something that they kind of recognize every year. Every year on April 16th, people wear these yellow ribbons to memorialize the Sewol ferry sinking. Basically, just like I said, 476 kids were on a boat, and it capsized, and most of them drowned. It's a really, really horrific thing. Have you ever done commentary on Casey Anthony trial? No, I've only been doing this like 3 weeks, so I'm a noob. I haven't done anything on anything. And that's kind of one thing I want to do is go back over classic cases and just kind of give summaries and maybe hit some highlights. Yeah, don't go to Japan either if you like weed. Same thing there. Attila the Hun says my favorite pipe tobacco is vanilla Cavendish. I'm not a huge Cavendish guy, but and I'm not really a huge flavored tobacco guy either. But hey, anything with a little dash of vanilla. But there's some good whiskey tobaccos out there as well. Sweet Arts, oh, thank you so much. I deeply appreciate the donation. Going to work. Have a great day, and thanks for the stream. You rock. Thank you very much, and hopefully we'll see you again soon. Is it me buffering or you, Jeff? I don't see any buffering. Let me check out ye oldie studio here to see if I'm buffering. I haven't watched myself yet. Bring me up. No, am I? No, I'm not buffering. It must be you. I'm doing just fine. And that's how we like our mods. We like them in the buff. Sorry. Caboose, welcome to the group formerly known as LawTube. I'm kind of with Ricade on this. I don't like LawTube, but I mean, what the hell else are you going to call it? I'm fine with that. Zorb, good. Oh, okay, Jeff from another Jeff in China. That's why you know about the Baiju. Legal Vice, it's not you, it's me. It's all about you, isn't it, Beeve? It's all about you. Well, is that all we got for the evening? Again, we've been going at this for 2 hours, and God bless Nick for doing this shit for like 13 hours straight, taking 2 hours sleep, and then doing it for however hell many other hours he does it. You know, when I run out of shit, I run out of shit. And I've run out of shit. But again, join me in like 11 hours from now to hear my interview with Danny on, candidate for Salt Lake County District Attorney. Should be fun. Until then, again, thank you, mods. You guys are awesome. Oh dear. Wait, one more thing. Patrick, your an expertise of admiralty law seems to go well with talking about sovereign citizens. They always claim it. For the fucking life of me, I can't figure that out. But I like watching I like watching sovereign citizen stuff. So we'll do some reaction videos to sovereign citizens. And on that note, we'll read this last one thing here. Lawtism is Nick. Vote for the name. I like Lawtism. All right. Thank you so much, Caboose, for that donation. And on that note, I am going to call it a night. It's midnight here, and I got to get up for the other deal. So hopefully you all join me then. I appreciate all of the donations from you guys. I appreciate the likes. I love the subscribes. And please come back again. And in the meantime, enjoy your weekend and enjoy your legal vices. Bye now.